Hello, and thank you for watching this data service instructional video. In this video, we're going to go over how to add a session for a student in the Related Services application. So as you may know, in the new Related Services application, we are tying student sessions directly to a student's statement of service. This is not a requirement, but it does allow you to collect the data a little more accurately. You can record a session if the student does not have an IEP or if they do not have a statement of service. And I'll show you how to do that in this video. The easiest way to add a session is to find the service that you'd like to add that session for. So in this case, I'm going to add a session for this first service here on the first line for this student. Then scroll over to the action button and select Add Session from the action buttons. This will take you to the Add Session page. Once you're on the Add Session page, a few things are going to happen. We are going to automatically bring up the IEP and the statement of service that you selected from the home page. That's what makes it easier to jump to this page from that home page. If you come to this page, to your Add Session page from the student detail page, you'll have to select the IEP and the statement of service based off of which statement of service you would like to add the session for. All right. If you do not want to attach this session to a statement of service, you can deselect this attached session. So right now you'll see we automatically have it turned on so that it automatically selects the statement of service, the first statement of service, and it is automatically attaching it to that statement of service. You can select this button and it will turn it off so that it is not adding a session based off of an IEP. A few things about this. If the student does have a statement of service and you do not select that statement of service, we will not collect minutes towards that statement of service on the home page. So where on the home page where you see a countdown of minutes towards the student's goal, we will not add the time towards that student's goal from here. So just keep that in mind. Also, if your student does not have an IEP, this is what it would look like when you navigate to this Add Session page from that student's from the home page. All right, so let's go ahead and fill out the details for this IEP session. I'm going to turn my statement of service back on, which allows me to select the statement of service. If I need to change the statement of service of the student's IEPs, there are drop downs here that will allow you to see the statement of service or see the student's IEPs, past, present, and future, and you can select the one that's appropriate. Once you have got your statement of service selected, you can select the session type, the attendance date, and these are all required fields, the start time, and how many units this session should count for. Select 1. You also have to include any session notes, and you can select quick notes as well. So below that, once you've completed your session, you can just select the Save Session button, and this will save the session for this specific student. It's going to return you to the home page, and what it'll also do is you can see here that it started to count minutes towards the session that I just added in. So to collect, again, because I tied the session to this statement of service, it's counting down towards a student's required minutes for that statement of service. If you would like to add a session for a student that does not have an IEP or a statement of service, you can select that student by clicking on the student's card, and then down here at the bottom, you'll see there's an Add Session button. If you select that Add Session button, it will take you to the student's session to add a session for this student, but the statement of service will not be selected. Again, if the student does not have an IEP, there will be no IEP here. It'll just be the Add Session page. And then all of the fields are the same. On this Add Sessions page, you would just select the fields, fill them out, and select Add Session, and it will add a session for that student, but it will not tie it to an IEP. In many cases, there might be a situation where, because of the way the data currently is in the system, a student's IEP has not yet come over, or possibly the student's IEP was added before that statement of service was available to be selected. So due to data issues that we've had during the transition, you may need to add a session for a student that has an IEP, but that IEP has not come into the system yet. just keep in mind that we will track that student's data towards the setting that you have selected from the dropdown. It just will not count on the minutes on the dashboard. So if I add a session for a student that doesn't have an IEP today, but they receive that IEP tomorrow, the session will still be in the system for that student, but the minutes will not be accurate on the dashboard. So just keep that in mind. And for the purposes of cost recovery will still be able to grab that session when they run the report after you finalize. So you'll see I've added a session. It's added to my session review up here. Once you've signed that session review, signed your off on all your sessions, cost recovery will still see that session even though it wasn't tied to an IEP at the time. And again, this is something that we're going to remedy in the future, but currently due to the data issues that we're experiencing because of the disparate systems, we have multiple systems that we pulled data from. This is the way the system functions currently. All right, that's how you add a session for a student. Thank you so much for watching this instructional video.